This second case, the second case is the story here by Sahara Reporters, which says that the Nigerian government had charged Mike Ozekhome, SAN, with forgery over the late General Useni's London property. Can you fill us in with what is going on here?
Yes, in respect of this matter, late General Useni had the property in UK that was confiscated.
Yes.
Now, some parties went to the UK to claim ownership of that property.
Okay.
Particularly saying that the property was given as a gift or fee for professional services rendered. Now, having forensically looked at it by the court in UK, they said that certain documents were forged. And they did not believe that the documents tendered evidencing that transaction are legitimate. I think it was inclusive of they stated that the national NIN submitted was not of that of the deceased, and so some other documents that were prepared.
Was it a mistake, or is that they are forged?
No, they didn't say it was a mistake. They said they were forged. By the court, and some of those documents were attached to the judgment of that court, stating that those documents were forged, and then they made attempts to verify them, and those attempts showed or suggested that those documents were falsified.
That was in the UK?
Yes, sir.
So why is the federal government here charging Mike Ozekhome?
Now, if you consider what has happened, most times when things like this happen, when forgery of we are talking about national documents, like forgery of the international passport, forgery of the NIN, aside from being a crime in the UK, is also a crime in Nigeria, because these are statutory documents that are issued by the Nigerian government. So if anybody is in possession of a forged document, or is alleged to be in possession of a document that is document ordinarily to be issued by the federal government, then such person should be tried. Because of course everybody is innocent until that crime is proven. It is the obligation of the federal government to find out the true position.
Okay, when he was found guilty in the UK, was it not treated as a criminal case? Was it treated as a civil matter, or is it that he has a pending conviction in the UK?
No, at the time that matter came up in the UK,
yes,
to the best of my knowledge, it was a civil matter, because it was a claim for property. The UK government had confiscated that property, and they made a claim for the property to say, no, this property does not belong to late General Useni. It belongs to me, and the property was gifted to me as for my professional services. And they requested for documents between that transaction and that assertion, and that is what they have said, that these documents do not legitimately prove what the story you are saying, that your stories do not align, the documents do not align, and as a result of that, the property would not be released back to him.
But they did not say specifically that the papers were that he committed forgery. They didn't say that. No,
they said that they believed that the documents were falsified.
So is there going to be criminal proceedings against him in the UK? It is within the rights of the UK government to also take further steps, because there are a plethora of laws that says that when there is a property fraud transaction, such parties should be tried, and they might be taking steps in that direction, because there are a lot of angles to it, because they have said that he's not aware that those documents were falsified and all that, so there's usually a lot of thread and a lot of forensics that needs to be done to ascertain who exactly is culpable and what actually transpired. Of course, that ignorance of the law is not an excuse. If you have tendered a document that is believed to be falsified, you are culpable. Oh, what's the penalty for getting involved in falsification of documents?
Now, it's already established that it's a crime, and at the minimum is 7 years imprisonment for forgery.
The minimum.
This is going to be an interesting one, because aside from tendering, these are now there are quite a number of documents that were alleged to have been falsified. So it now depends. Each count will be on each document, and so many other things. Conspiracy. There are so many factors that will be considered by the prosecution to bring forward a very sustainable case.
I think when was the case filed? Was it yesterday?
No, that of the federal government?
Yes.
Yes, well, we have not been able to see the certified true copy of that information that was filed. So it's still within the realm of although I'm trying to make moves to see if I can lay my hands on the document, but as at this time, I've not been able to actually confirm that position.
When you want to file a case, a criminal case against an individual, aren't you supposed to arrest him in the first instance?
Well, there are different circumstances. There are people who are, because of their reputation, they can be allowed to come to court in person and they'll be arraigned. They are usually granted administrative bail or bail by recognizance because of the value that they hold to the society or because their their commitment.
The Attorney General we had before why wasn't he given bail in recognizance? Because of the value, according to you, of what he is in society.
Yes.
Why wasn't he the former Attorney General? He wasn't given bail. He was arrested and then taken to court.
Well, now he has been granted bail as we speak, and I understand that. And now, most times for bail, most times one will be granted administrative bail, and for the former Attorney General, it was said that he has been granted administrative bail, but could not meet the terms of the administrative bail that was granted to him by the EFCC up until the time he was charged to court. And of course, the former Administrator General was invited according to the EFCC, and he has been evasive. And when there are circumstances like that, when the prosecution or the law enforcement authorities see that there's whoever is being granted bail is a flight risk, they have the right to decline bail of such persons.
Okay, these two cases that involve lawyers, senior lawyers at that, set a worrying trend for the legal profession. I wonder if you feel so likewise, or does it normally happen?
Well, these are interesting times, and the noble profession is our reputation is in our being a conservative profession. We are supposed to be ministers in the temple of justice, and what that means is that we should be always found to do the right things. We should always toe the path of the law. As a matter of fact, when people don't toe the path of the law, which it is our obligation as ministers of justice to push them and compel them to obey and follow the proper position of the law. So it's quite unfortunate that we are where we are, and we hope that this would reduce in coming times, and people would uphold the sanctity of the bar.
Interesting times we are in, Mr. Ege. Thank you very much. Let me leave you in the rain. Now you can make a U-turn and head back.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.